1, 2, 1, 2. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You getting a level okay?
Your attention, please. The Chancellor.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as Chancellor of the University of Cambridge, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this opening event today. This is an important occasion for the University of Cambridge because the new building will bring together in industrial partnership the best of academic research with some of the most exciting and innovative companies in the world. It is, I think, increasingly understood that knowledge transfer is today a key part of the mission of a university. But few people, I think, realize that the most knowledge transfer flows not from applied universities, but from those universities who do the best basic research. This is true in the UK and also in the USA. If one looks at the USA, those universities, such as Stanford and MIT, which are famous for their spin-off companies and industrial partnerships, are also, of course, the ones at the top of the tables of research excellence. It's therefore entirely appropriate that the new centre is named after James Clerk Maxwell, the first Cavendish professor and one of the greatest experimental and theoretical physicists. Although famous for his groundbreaking theory of electromagnetic radiation, his influence can be felt across all branches of physics. He was, of course, the first of the great Cavendish pioneers, scientists such as J.J. Thomson, Rutherford, Chadwick, Watson, and Crick, whose work has transformed the world in which we live. The history of the Cavendish laboratories also illustrates another vital aspect of the success of the sciences at the University of Cambridge, and that is the role of philanthropy. Back in 1871, it was the then Chancellor, William Cavendish, who privately met the costs of the building the laboratory. And I would personally like to acknowledge on this occasion the extremely generous donations of David Harding and Humphrey Babcock, which made this project possible. The University of Cambridge is at the heart of Europe's largest high-tech cluster, which in recent years has grown rapidly, attracting new businesses and investment. Ahead lie huge technological opportunities, which Cambridge is in a good position to exploit. And I am confident that the Maxwell Centre, at the heart of what I think has rightly been described as the triple helix partnership of university, government and industry, and backed by philanthropy, can make the Cambridge cluster an even greater success. The Centre's director is Professor Sir Richard Friend, and it's with great pleasure that I invite him to talk to us about this remarkable building and the vital scientific collaborations that it will house. Richard.
Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, thank you for joining us to celebrate the opening of this magnificent building. The Maxwell Centre will play a central role in the very exciting journey that lies ahead for West Cambridge. It embodies the special spirit of the Cavendish Laboratory, where whole new fields of science and later technology have been created. But the Maxwell Centre is designed to bring together the full spectrum of science and engineering in West Cambridge. And as we open today, we have activities in place from across the university, including physics, materials science, chemical engineering, chemistry, and engineering. The Maxwell Centre is central to the university's strategy, but as so often happens, its genesis has been made possible by external support. And I would like to express our sincere thanks to all of those who have made this possible. The bulk of the funding for the building, the bricks and mortar, £21 million, has come from the Higher Education Funding Council for England through their capital funding programme, the UK Research Partnership Investment Fund. The rules for this competitive scheme required us to double match this with support from our partners for the science programmes that will be enabled here. A full list of our partners, both philanthropic and industrial, is provided in the brochure for today's event. I'm very pleased that many of you are here today. We are delighted that David Harding is here and will later formally open the Maxwell Centre. David has provided £20 million to establish the Winton programme for the physics of sustainability within the Cavendish Laboratory. The Winton programme is directed to blue skies research that has the capacity to bring revolutionary changes to the technologies we need for a prosperous and sustainable future. The guidelines are that the research should not be more of the same, but truly original and innovative. The programme can take risks which are beyond the normal scope of research grants. The Winton programme is bringing the brightest and best to Cambridge at the start of their careers, but it has also given us the time, space and resource to think and set strategy, drawing on the experience of our international advisors and detached from externally imposed agendas. The themes initiated within the programme are now setting our agendas for the Energy at Cambridge Strategic Research Initiative, for the Cambridge activity within the Sir Henry Royce Institute for Advanced Materials, and of course for the Maxwell Centre. Those working in the Winton programme are now in the Maxwell Centre, and you have the opportunity to meet them and others at their posters later today and visit some of the laboratories. We have a proud tradition of working very closely with industry, both large and small. The best industrial collaborations work both ways. Within the university, we want to see our blue skies research make an impact for the good, and we want industry to pick up what we have started. But we also learn from industry where there are important new science questions, and we learn to spot what might be capable of being scaled to make impact. The Maxwell Centre will allow these links to develop further. We have office space for short-term and long-term industrial collaborators, and our laboratories will provide the state-of-the-art facilities that industry needs access to. You will be able to learn more about the different ways we work with industry from the case studies on the displays around the building. I hope you agree with us that the Maxwell Centre has turned out to be a great building. We are all very pleased to be here. The open space, the natural light, the fancy coffee machines are all strong attractors. I would like to thank all those who made this happen on time and on budget. The architects, BDP, have produced a great design for the building. SDC has built this to a high standard, and our local team in the Cavendish and in estate management have made sure that this is the building we wanted. Our specific technical requirements have been met. Today's brochure provides some details of the very varied activities we have in the Maxwell Centre. The building is designed to bring a lot of people together, and we have a good number of meeting rooms and communal spaces to encourage interactions. We hope this is the ecosystem where chance conversations on the stairs lead to great things. These may be between people in different university departments or between university and industry. We have ambitious plans for the use of the laboratories. Equipment is not just expensive to buy, but it's expensive to operate well. The magic is to both get the best specialist groups to bring facilities to be best in the world, and also to ensure that access to these is democratic. This is the way to cross-fertilize not just techniques, but also ideas. We will therefore run these as well-supported user facilities operating around the clock when appropriate. These will be available to our industrial partners and also to the individual researcher with a bright idea at the start of his or her career, or indeed at any stage. Again, you'll have the chance to see these facilities on the tours running throughout the afternoon. The building is filling up fast. I do want to thank those smart enough to get in early, because you've all worked very hard to make it a functioning centre already, and to have helped set up today's excellent displays of science and art. I also want to welcome our industrial partners who are already up and running in the centre, SKF with the laboratories on the ground floor, and ARM on the second floor. It's my pleasure now to invite Anna-Marie Greenaway, Vice President of Science and Technology at BP Cambridge, to say a few words.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, it's a great pleasure to be with you today and to share some industry perspectives. The world of energy faces some tough challenges in the decades ahead, particularly in meeting increasing demand with less environmental impact. At BP, technology underpins everything we do, from safely discovering and recovering oil and gas to producing energy-efficient and low-carbon fuels, power and products. In seeking to meet these challenges ahead, strategic partnerships with world-class academic institutions remains essential, and the University of Cambridge is one of our most highly valued relationships. Through understanding and respecting our mutual objectives, we ensure that our long-term collaborations are closely aligned with real-world challenges and also benefit from an interdisciplinary approach. Our cooperation with Cambridge now spans technology and policy research across many departments, as well as executive education, hiring at graduate and postgraduate level, and joint international programmes. And there's also the benefit of being able to engage with Cambridge right across the spectrum of research and development stages, from fundamental and applied research to co-funding technology venturing companies and startups. So we very much value the strategic approach Cambridge has to industrial engagement, and especially the creation of the central team in the Research Office and the Energy at Cambridge Strategic Research Initiative. Both of these enhance our ability to engage and convene leading researchers from across different disciplines to explore complex challenges. And we also recognise that creating mutual value depends on more than just providing cash to fund research. Developing close, long-term links between our scientists and Cambridge academics requires commitment, and roles like mine, spending time at the university as well as working closely with our global business teams to ensure more effective connections, a deeper understanding of our mutual goals, and development of very long-term and trusted relationships. This model has been particularly successful at the BP Institute up across the road, which brings together world-class academic expertise in earth sciences, engineering, mathematics, chemistry and chemical engineering all in one place. And over the past 15 years, research at the BP Institute has been at the heart of many of our leading technology programs, with academics spending time with BP and vice versa, and several PhD students then joining BP, and they're now enjoying successful international careers as scientists within industry. Here in physics, we've also had a long history of research links for many years, including most recently working with the Scientific Computing Research Group and supporting 2 centres of doctoral training, which are now based here at the Maxwell. But that's going to see cohorts of graduate students engaging with us and other industries on projects and preparing for future employment. So as we look to the future, the recently published BP Technology Outlook to 2050 identifies digital, data and materials advances as having the greatest potential to transform energy production, supply and end use. They offer a real opportunity to improve the safety, reliability, reduce cost and contribute to energy efficiency and sustainability. So we therefore look forward to playing a role in contributing to the success of the Maxwell Centre, strengthening industrial collaborations across the multidisciplinary fields of expertise it offers, with very much the aim of discovering and developing secure, affordable and sustainable energy solutions for today's world and for future generations. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to delay you for too long. I'm just going to join this chorus of congratulations. The congratulations to those who had the vision that this could become a reality. To those who supported us, both financially and in that very way that you so often need, people who are going to be equally enthusiastic for the vision that is the Maxwell. And usually, I'm going to say thank you to the government for having the vision to invest in British science and to ensure that we can take that science forward in a globally competitive world for the future. But most of all, thank you to those who participate in the work in this building. And you might say, why? Quite simply, because that's what the university's about. And if you don't believe me, then look what it says on the tin. It's very simple. The mission statement of the university is to serve society through teaching, learning and research at the highest international standards of excellence. So it says how we're going to do it. And that's by being the best in the world and aspire to do that. But we're doing it, why? Because we want to serve society. And the interface that the Maxwell Centre provides sets the tone for everything that we do within the university. We work together as academics in a multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary way. But we work with industry, with external players to make sure that what we are doing is also relevant to society at large. And please challenge me as to what society is. When the university was first founded, it probably did not go much further than Ely, where the bishop very kindly gave us the ground to operate in. In today's world, society is the whole planet, and maybe in 50 or 100 years might include Mars or the Moon or other planets as well. And in the future, who knows, maybe physics can tell us, but I certainly can't. So we will continue to aspire. And as a university, you would not expect me as Vice-Chancellor to say, this is a starting point, because it is setting the tone for what we expect in the future as over the way we expand into Cavendish 3, where we are going to be able to take physics and behind that have engineering also coming on board and chemistry to build this campus site into something that truly the United Kingdom and Europe can be very proud of for many, many years to come. Built around that spirit of collaboration and interdisciplinarity, where frankly all the exciting things in science really happen. So it's brilliant that physical sciences, engineering, technology and industrial partnerships are happening here, but they're setting the tone for the future as how this whole campus site is going to be operating. These things don't happen, and we owe a huge debt of gratitude to donors who have ensured that this would happen. To Humphrey, thank you very much indeed, Humphrey, for your support. But the debt of gratitude the university owes to David Harding, I have to use this opportunity to comment on. David is a visionary. He supports new visions and directions. He does not constrain, but he challenges. He has made things possible in this university that in many other ways I could not see happen. The freedom for us to be able to operate, but always with his challenge of making sure we're doing the edgiest things, those things that will challenge convention, but those things that are also going to take us forward to the next area. And all of our academics are excited by this prospect. So David, a very personal thank you for the very unique way in which you support us. And at that point, I can think of no better thing to do than to hand over to you to declare this building open. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, Boris. It is a great pleasure to know that with the completion of this building, the Department of Physics in Cambridge will be able to continue its illustrious work in both fundamental and applied research. Physics at Cambridge has an unmatched history to live up to, but Cambridge has excellent form in exceeding its own incredibly high standards. My support of physics here at Cambridge was actually conceived at a breakfast which Richard was present at, organised by Humphrey in the Royal Society in London. And Richard turned up with a bunch of other people, Malcolm and so on and so forth, asking for money. I think they were rather surprised that somebody actually gave it to them. And it wasn't even their major priority, actually. The Winton programme, the idea of a sort of programme for physics for sustainability was on the bottom of the sheet, wasn't it? But unbeknownst to them, you know, they had caught me on the right day, and it happened to suit me to support something in which Richard and I share a common interest in being rather ambiguous. Or let's say a trifle vague, ambiguous suggests two things, but the idea of physics of sustainability, if it has occurred to you to have the argument, what the hell is that, then that's on purpose, you know. So it needs to be something which can be shaped into, something which people who know better than me here in this university can shape it into, which is of value to society. What I believe in is the value of original, risky, groundbreaking, fundamental research. That's what I believe in. I hear a lot of complaints from academics about constraints that are imposed upon them. I don't know, of course, whether that's just general bleating or not. You know, it probably isn't. You're all noble people, but I actually don't know. I just have limits to my knowledge, but I have been so pleased to be able to make available some money to enable what they keep telling me is going to facilitate this kind of original, groundbreaking, fundamental research. And the fact that Richard's then been able to leverage that up into something as magnificent as this building, is, I think, fantastic and very rewarding for me to think that I have been used by the forces of good to outwit the forces of less good. Before I warm to my theme too much and find myself in the paper somewhere. And in the last few weeks, we've agreed to extend the Winton programme so as to provide an exchange programme with Berkeley, where I've come to know Paul Oliver-Sartos, who was the last director of the Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory. Through Paul and through my privilege of being involved in the advisory board here, I've come to know Paul. I've been to visit Berkeley a couple of times, and it is felt to be very helpful that you guys should be able to go and spend a year in the sun in Western California, where I have an office, so you can come and see me there as well. It's the collaborative ethos of the Maxwell Centre, which I very much support as well, and has been built into it from the start. And again, by the vision of those involved. Working together with academic research, the right kind of academic research, working together with industry and government is something that I observe. In my journeys around the world, I observe that as being very important in a lot of places, like California, like Germany, and so on and so forth. And so I just kind of feel like I need to urge the British on, come on guys, this is how it works. Go to Munich, go to San Francisco, other places in the world, Singapore, where I go to, and I can see it all happening. And the British are, a race of cats, as you know, who don't necessarily find it easy to collaborate. So, but this is a place where collaboration could, I hope, be set an example for collaboration. This is what the centre represents: a deliberate blurring of the boundaries in order that we can achieve what individually would be challenging. I very much look forward to hearing from the scientists and the industry representatives about their plans for using this centre. It's with the greatest pleasure and an honour for me to declare this centre open.
Excuse me, just a few brief remarks between lunch. And that is, first of all, there's a number of thanks that I want to extend to a number of people this afternoon. In particular, we're going to have the Cambridge Arts Science Project and the organised by that project and Kettle's Yard, the university's modern contemporary art gallery. So we will be opening later this afternoon that arts science project. So I need to just record some special thanks to the people who have made that possible. Suchitra Sebastian in the front here, director of the Cavendish Arts Science Project, and to Andrew Nairn, the director of Kettle's Yard. A number of sponsors made that possible: Trinity College, L'Oreal, Kettle's Yard and their supporters, in particular the Arts Council of England. So you will find on the top floor and all throughout the building a mixture of arts, science collaborations, and it is spectacular, I tell you that. The title is taken, it's called Into Boundless Space I Leap, taken from one of Maxwell's poems. It has been curated by Guy Haywood of Kettle's Yard, and it includes 14 artists and new commissions. Many of the works you will see around were commissioned specially for this opening today. It celebrates the scientific and artistic discovery, and the artists and scientists shared their common vision of what the world's about. So we thank all the artists and the lenders of the work which are throughout this building. Now, the most remarkable part of all is that as part of the exhibition, we're delighted that the great choreographer Wayne McGregor and the artist Haroon Mishra have collaborated to produce a new commissioned work especially for the occasion, which will embody the interaction between the body, sound and space and Maxwell. So that work includes a sculpted sound piece by Haroon, with which the dancers' bodies will interact. So this place will be transformed in the matter of minutes into a remarkable space where dancers will interact with sound and so forth. I don't think this has happened before at any opening of a building in Cambridge University. So we always do new things. So the special thanks are then due to Wayne McGregor, Haroon Mishra, and all of their teams that support them. Now, just so that you know the timetable, I'm going to invite everyone to get out of this space as soon as I have shut up, which will be very soon, so that we can reconfigure the whole present. But even more important, you can go and eat, drink, and then begin the perambulation around the whole of the space to see both arts, science, industry, and all the things that make an integral part of a proper university. Now, the dance performances, there will be 2 of them given, so you'll be milling around talking with all the young people and their work. There will be one at 2:15 and again repeated at 2:45 in this atrium space. During the evening reception, those who are staying, you will hear more about the art-science collaboration when Suchitra will introduce the concept and how it came about and all the wonderful sponsorship she raised for that activity. And there will be 2 further performances at 5 and 6. Now, if you're like me, I understand any piece of music or art if I see it 4 or 5 times. So do make sure you take use of that opportunity. Now, finally, of course, today wouldn't have happened without a great deal of enormous activity and work within the laboratory and all our associate departments. I cannot thank them all. It would be like these rather embarrassing occasions when people win the Open Golf Championship and they thank everybody right down to, you know what I mean. I'm not going to do that. I simply want to say we had a core group of about 10 who worked fantastically hard, an expanded team of about 30, plus many others who chipped in. So I cannot possibly thank everyone. But some people do need special thanks. Among them are Agnieszka, Robert, Peter Norman, Leona Hope, Coles. They bore such a huge weight of making all of this happen. We also had excellent support from QDAR and especially from Glenn Whitehead, who actually made all of these things happen. That's all I've got to say. It is now lunch, to which I suggest you go speedily, and it will be on the first floor upstairs. On the second floor. You should go up there, into there. You will eat, talk, and also the interactive displays with all the industries which have contributed to our science. They will be on display. So you must be able to have drink, plate, press buttons simultaneously, but you're all wonderful at that. Thank you very much.